Have you ever been tricked into tailing bets with a ladder challenge to turn $10 into 10,000? Because I have, and it was one of the most frustrating times I've experienced in sports betting. After failing over and over again, I realized I lost close to $100, which isn't a lot of money for me, but the impact of my emotions and the stupid betting decisions I made after losing these bets did some serious damage to my bankroll. So why am I making this video? Well, I received a text message from one of the many sports books that I use. They're going to match my deposit up to $200 with bonus bets. Now, I've done this many times before, taking advantage of deposit matches, making a fair bit of cash, so I thought I'd record the journey and the various strategies that I use along the way. So in this video, I'll share my account on screen as we look for some bets. I'll show you the resources that I use to research. We'll discuss the stake and the strategies that I'll be using. But first, a warning. $200 for me is just 2 units. I'm not encouraging you to bet $200 to ride with me. Now, when I get this balance up to $2,000, we celebrate. But if it all goes belly up and I lose our balance, it's only 2 units lost. And hopefully we have some fun and we learn some lessons along the way. If you're down a towel, let me know in the comment section and write down the emotion you're going to feel once this 2K is hit. If you feel like you're going to be aroused, write down aroused. If you feel like you're going to be fucking pumped, write down pumped. Now, a question for you. If you had to make one bet every day to double your money, what would your win rate be? 60, 70, 80%? Well, if you answered 50% or less, then you should stop betting full stop and take up a new hobby. So I've just jumped into Ladbrokes. As you can see, they're the ones who offered me the deposit match. So I've got $200 balance with them right now and $200 bonus cash. Now, for this particular strategy, we're not focusing on any particular sport. I did mention if you could double your money, if you had to make one bet a day to double your money, what would your hit rate be? Now, for me, I hover around 70 and 80%, which is pretty decent. The hard part about the strategy is limiting yourself to one bet per day. But for the purpose of these videos, is what I'm going to be doing specifically for this Ladbrokes account. I'm just going to put one bet a day on it. We're trying to get this $200 up to 2,000. This isn't going to be one of those ladder challenges that you've seen where we're just going to roll everything over because it's stupid, it's risky, it doesn't make any sense. So we're going to try to give ourselves one chance at fouling after every single win. So with this $200, I plan on betting $100, and then when we win, we'll then have $300 in the account. Following day, we'll take that up to $150. And if we win there, then we'll obviously just keep betting half of what's in there. And if we do lose, we still got one more shot. So it's rare if I'm aiming for just one bet a day, whether it be a parlay or whatever, that it's rare that I lose those 2 days in a row. So we just need a couple of days in the green. We'll also, once we have about $400 to $500 in the balance, we'll take the original 200 out. So then we're just playing with profit to see how far we can build it up, which is a bit more conservative. And I think it's a smarter way to play these type of challenges. So without further ado, let's start taking a look. Now, I haven't had a look to see what I like. If I think about what's coming up tomorrow, though, there'll be some MLB. There's MLB every single damn day. I don't think there's any summer league. There's probably some WNBA. And we've got some Australian sports. There is Wimbledon and the tennis, and we'll see what we think about that. But I'll show you a couple of different things. So in terms of staking, we're done. I'm going to bet $100 in this video, and then we're going to bet half of what's in the balance until we have enough money to pull our $200 out to continue playing. If we're talking about betting, I'm really probably going to look at parlays, 2 to 3 legs, and try to get over plus money. And I'll show you the strategies on what I'm thinking right now. So the first thing I'll do is I look at the things that I'm closest to. And here in Australia, that is NRL. And I'm sure in sports books across the world, you guys are going to have opportunities to bet this, at least the money line plays, which is what we're looking at. So looking at this first one, there's 2 games on this upcoming slate, or tomorrow for me. And what I'm looking at here, there's 2 games, there's 2 clear favorites. So I won't have to do any research into these sports because I'm super close to it, watch every single game. And pretty much one leg that I'd be considering here is the Gold Coast Titans. It's a money line play against the Parramatta Eels. Now, this Parramatta Eels team, they have a pretty good roster, but they're coming dead last in the competition, and they're missing a lot of their best players because of representative duties. This Gold Coast team, one of the bottom teams in the competition as well. You can see 3rd last, but they have been competitive most of this season. They've gotten some bad calls from referees, They're playing at home. I expect them to run a train on this Parramatta Eels team. So that's one play that I like. I'm going to add a lot of these plays to the slip, whatever I find, and then we can take it from there. I want to have a quick look at Wimbledon. We'll see what's happening in the tennis. That's about to close, but so we've got the Joker versus Mercedes. Now the Joker at $1.13, which is awful odds. It's might not be worth playing, but we could potentially look at the Joker to win in less than 4 sets. I don't see this going along, being a long match. But I also have to consider that you may not have all the same options that I do. So I think the Joker does win for sure, but when we add these two together, we're not even close to where we want to be, but I'm pretty confident in him getting the win. Actually, I'm going to remove this. And the reason why I'm going to remove this leg is happening in about 2 hours of me recording this. So by the time everything's uploaded, you're not going to get a chance to bet on it anyway. So the Djokovic play, we're not going to touch. So we're going to get off the tennis. Now, we could look at the soccer as well. There's a couple big matches in the soccer. We do have the Euros. But this game is not for a couple of days, Spain versus England. So that might be something we take a look at closer to in maybe one of the following videos. So we'll pass on that. And then if we look at the W, check out the WNBA real quick. And we've got 3 games on. Mercury versus the Fever. We've got the Dream versus the Aces and the Storm versus the Lynx. So the Fever and the Mercury I don't necessarily want to bet the money line on. The Fever have been playing a lot better as of late. Mercury probably have some injuries. But we're going to jump over to RotoWire real quick just to take a look at the lineups to see if there are any injuries. All right, so here we are looking at the Mercury versus the Fever. So Diana Taurasi is still out, so I'd be concerned about that. Knowing my player props, Kalia Copper's somebody I'd probably look at. Caitlin Clark been playing quite well, but for the simplicity of this bet, I don't want to bet on any player props, especially not in the W, that's for sure. So I think this Minnesota versus the Seattle Storm, that could be a good match. The Storm, I'd like to bet on them, but this Nafisa Collier news is what I'd be sweating on. Taking a quick look at her, she's doubtful for the game against the Storm. She's already missed 2 games. They're saying don't be surprised if Collier ends up being ruled out until after the Olympics break. Okay, so chances are Nafisa Collier doesn't play, but to be safe, I like to Google, if I'm looking to see whether a player is going to play or not, I like to Google them to see where they're at, to see if there's any news. And yeah, there's no news on Nafisa Collier right now. So we jump on X, we have a look at Nafisa Collier, see if there's any news on her. So there's people selling a whole lot of sheets. Sheets, what the hell? Shirts. And then we've got RotoWire and Underdog calling out that she's doubtful. Doubtful. Okay. All right, so everyone's got the same news. She's doubtful. She's unlikely to play. Looking at the Seattle Storm team, they are at home, so they should do quite well. All right, so I'm siding with the Storm based on what I know already, but I'm going to show you a neat little trick. Check this out. Seattle Storm versus... So we do Seattle Storm versus Minnesota Lynx prediction. Now, I'm going to open up a couple tabs here, and I ain't going to read them. All right, so I've got 5 tabs open. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm sure you would have seen this. We're going to jump into ChatGPT. Now, I don't know if other people do this, and if they do, they ain't telling y'all, but this is something that I do, especially on with sports that I'm not overly close to. I'm pretty close to the W, but I wanted to show you this strategy because I think it's going to grow in popularity depending on how successful this video is. But check out the prompt. On ChatGPT, you can say, read the articles linked below. Tell me who wins this game and why. And then we just paste all the articles that we've opened up. You could do this with YouTube videos as well, but I trust everybody out on YouTube, you know what I mean? I think this is a quick way to do it. So let's watch ChatGPT go to work. So it's going to read all the articles that I've put in there, and then it's going to give me a nice little answer based off all the information I've put in there. It'll read through it, tell us who's going to win and why. So the summary here is that the Minnesota Lynx will win. Strong defense in their recent performance, even if Nafisa Collier is unavailable. That's from Pick Dogs. Sports Chat also favors the Lynx, emphasizing their defensive prowess and recent form. Winners and whiners, they similarly suggest that the Lynx are going to win, mentioning their solid defense, overall better form compared to the Storm. So that is interesting. That's not the way I thought that would go. It did save me a lot of time reading because at first glance, I probably would have sided with the Storm here, especially given that Nafisa Collier is, I would say, limited in action. But what that does is if we're going to buy that, and the odds for the Storm keep getting shorter and shorter, meaning more people are pounding that. The line's at 6.5 now. What we can look at is an alternate spread here to favor the Lynx. We could look at Minnesota Lynx plus 10.5. That's the biggest line that I can get on this sports book. There are others where you can get different alts. But even if we just took the Gold Coast Titans and the Minnesota Lynx plus 10.5, we can get that for plus money. So that could be an interesting look, but I don't know how confident I feel about that because I initially sided with the Seattle Storm, but I'll leave it on there anyway. But I also want to jump into the MLB and do a similar strategy. So this is what I've been doing on the MLB, and I have been getting some success. I haven't been creating videos on it because there's no genius to it. I'm really just relying on other people's articles and information to give me the winning opinions, I'd say. So, all right, let's head over to the baseball section. So what I like to do for the MLB is I like to look at the games where there's a short favorite, a clear favorite. Now, I don't want to bet the run line. I do just want to bet the money line. So I'm looking for the games where there's a clear money line favorite, and then I'll do the exact same exercise and then see what it spits out. So the first one that's showing up is the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Oakland Athletics. So we type in Phillies versus Athletics prediction. It spits out a couple of articles. We open them all up. Then we create a new chat in ChatGPT. Then we give it the same prompt. Read through the articles below and tell me who wins the game and why. All right, now friend ChatGPT is going to read everything. Hopefully it's good. Let me share ChatGPT so you can see what's cooking. Well, that didn't work very well. Let me edit this prompt. Amended the prompt there to say read through the links below. All right, I just got it popping. I've asked it to review the following links and tell me which team wins the game and why. So it searched for 5 articles, and this is the conclusion we've come through. Take the Phillies, and these are the right reasons why we take the Phillies. Their form, their recent performance is much better. Phillies performing well recently, winning their last 5 games, including a victory over the Athletics in a 12-inning match. They've got a strong offensive presence, averaging 5.7 runs per game. The Athletics, they've struggled significantly, losing 8 of their last 10, only averaging 2.8 runs per game. Their pitching is ass. And if we also look at the pitching matchup, we've got Walker, who's been solid in recent outings for the Phillies. He's been inconsistent, but his recent performances include consecutive shutouts against the Tigers and the Dodgers, which means he is capable of slowing down the weaker offenses. The Athletics pitching has not been reliable. Their record's been poor, and they got a high ERA. The Phillies, defending National League champions, have a stronger lineup and a better overall team stat compared to the Athletics, and one of the worst in the MLB this season. Motivation to continue their winning streak and solidify their playoff position also gives the Phillies an edge in this matchup. So based on all of these articles and our good friends here at ChatGPT, they're saying take the Phillies to win. Now, the good thing the reason why I like doing this so much, especially on the MLB, is because for those of you who watch my videos, I'm not too close to the MLB at all. I don't watch it. I'm not interested in watching it. So I can take a really non-biased opinion and just run with whatever looks the best. So the Phillies, I think they might be the shortest favorite on the slate, to be honest. So is that an obvious choice? Is there a chance for an upset? Potentially, but this is casual betting for you at its finest. And hopefully you guys are entertained by it. So next up, if we want to add another one, we'll see if we can get a stronger argument. We've got the New York Mets versus the Colorado Rockies. So the Mets are quite short in this one, so we'll run through the same thing. Mets versus the Rockies. We'll open these links up. All right, take a look. I've made a slight change to the prompt. So I've asked ChatGPT to review the following links, tell me which teams win, which team covers the run line, and why. So in terms of who wins, based off all the articles I've gone through, they've all said that the Mets are going to win. And if you look at the run line, there's two people who have called out that the Mets are also going to cover the run line. So what I like here is if the Mets are favored to cover the run line, as a casual bettor looking to make one bet a day, the New York Mets money line could be the play that I take. So I've got 4 legs at the moment. I'm looking to eliminate some, and I'll probably get rid of I'm going to get rid of the Minnesota Lynx. I'll take Minnesota Lynx off this to cover the 10.5 because it just goes against my gut feel. When I'm betting on sports that I'm not overly close to, I'm happy to just run with the data that more confident people have supplied us with. But I feel like that Mets write-up from ChatGPT on point. ChatGPT seemed confident to me. What did you guys think? All right, so the next one, if we're just looking to back some shorties. So shorties are your short favorites. We've got the Brewers versus the Nationals. So I'm going to quickly run the same exercise. I'll just pop it back on when we get the result from ChatGPT. All right, so we are back. I put quite a few links into that one. Brewers versus Nationals. And pretty much everything's leaning towards the Brewers side. And even the Brewers favored to cover the run line as well. That's because of their superior pitching. They got Freddie Peralta's recent performance. The Nationals struggles both offensively and with their starting pitcher. Jackson Rutledge, the Brewers' overall stronger team performance supports they're expected to win and run line coverage. So we might even just run the Brewers as well. So now the problem that we run into is I initially started by saying if you had to make one bet a day to double your money, what would your hit rate be? Now, the casual bettor inside of me is itching to just take all of these. I want to take them all. But at the moment, from the 4 legs that we do have, we're looking at $3.75. So converting that to your odds in the US, we're looking at plus 275 for these. Plus, we've got a cheeky little boost here to take it a little bit higher. So I'm thinking we can either just take the Mets and the Brewers. That's plus 103. Gold Coast Titans and the Phillies. That's minus 116. So the Phillies might be a little bit too short. All right, this is what we're going to do. I've thought of a plan. We're going to take the Mets and Brewers money line plus 106. We're going to place $100 on that and double our money. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use some of this bonus cash. And this is the best, well, this is how I like to use my bonus cash. So there is something called match betting, which guarantees you winning something from your bonus cash. But this is how I like to use it. So what we're going to do, I want to take the run line. Oh, the run line's 2.5 for the Phillies, so I don't want to take that. So for these favorites that we've identified, I want to take the run line minus 1.5 if they're all available. Yeah, we've got the Mets and the Brewers. And we'll even take that Gold Coast Titans in the NRL. Script that up. So we've got the Brewers and the Mets. All right, we'll take Gold Coast minus 7.5, which is the handicap in that game. So from these 3 plays, we're looking at, with the boost, we're looking at about plus 550. Actually, we can't use the boost if we're using bonus cash. All right, so plus 532 is what I'm getting here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put $50 of bonus cash on it. It's going to give us a return of $266. So, all right, so these are the plays that we're running for day 1 of this challenge, boys. We still have $100, which is 1 unit still in the balance. And we've got $150 of bonus cash in here. We've got $100 on the New York Mets versus Colorado Rockies. We've got the Mets money line, Then we have a parlay with the Brewers money line against the Washington Nationals, thanks to ChatGPT. And then with our bonus cash, we're using it on the Mets and the Brewers to cover their run line. And in the NRL, which is about 5 to 6 hours after the baseball, we've got the Gold Coast Titans minus 7.5 points. So those 3 legs, we've got $50 bonus cash. Hopefully, if everything works out well, our balance will be sitting at about $560. So I'm hopeful that we get there. But I do hope you guys like the video in this one. Slightly different to what we normally do, but there is a good strategy. That ChatGPT strategy, using all those articles and those predictions, it has worked extremely well for me for sports that I'm not really close to. Now, I'll let you know the best sports to do these on are the sports that have a lot of coverage. So baseball is huge. This also works with the big games in soccer. It'll work with the NFL. I've had a lot of success using this particular strategy. I haven't necessarily shared it with anyone apart from the people I do coaching with one-on-one. But screw it. Let's just give you all the value that we have. Let me know if you're going to ride with me. Tell me what your thoughts are. Best of luck to us. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.